Big up, guys. Big up, guys. Welcome to the buzz. Apologies for the lateness. I wanted to do this earlier, but other things happened. Not able to, so doing it now. The stream now. I know there is football on. I know there is. I'm aware of it. Of course, it's Leicester and Newcastle. But I think the actual football has been a bit dull lately. Has been pretty drab and piss poor, to be quite honest with you. Hope there's a better one tonight where you'd think Newcastle should do well and get a few goals against Leicester. I'm going to do that obviously first, the preview for that. Because obviously that is on about, I think it's 8 o'clock. I believe that kicks off. So I'm going to start with that one. We might not get any guests on, I don't know. They're probably watching the football or whatever. Or something else might be out or whatever else. But obviously, I've got the link here, guys. If anyone wants to come on, you're welcome to. There's nobody in here yet anyway in the live chat, but anyway, I'm going to go straight on with this. Obviously, Leicester and Newcastle. And so I'll just bring this up. Get straight into this preview. And there it is. Leicester versus Newcastle, all you need to know, by Juric, 7th of April, obviously today. All the team news manager, that's not that. Leicester will be desperate to boost their hopes of Premier League safety, having lost each of their last 7 matches without scoring a goal. As for Newcastle, Eddie Howe's side travelled to the Midlands looking to build on a hard-fought 2-1 win over us, the Bees, of course, with a top 4 finish still very much within reach. Where are both teams in the table? Well, I think we know where Leicester are, in deep shit, down near the bottom. Leicester sit 19th in the Premier League on just 17 points. Effectively 16 points from safety due to their significantly inferior goal difference to 17th placed Wolves. Their last home win dates back to early December when they beat West Ham 3-1, and since then the goals have dried up, failing to score in 12 of their last 16 matches. Newcastle, meanwhile, are 7th with 50 points and have 2 games in hand over the sides above them. After dipping form in February that saw them lose 3 of their 4 league games, the Magpies have started to turn things around, picking up wins both in the league and the EFL Cup final to stay in the hunt for UEFA Champions League football next season. And there's the table, of course. Newcastle there in 4th with 50. Probably their win. I can see them getting an easy win here. It's only Leicester. Everyone beats Leicester. We beat them. So they'll be 3rd if they win. Be 3rd there. Hold on. What's this one? This isn't it. Positions. I think this is the what do you call it? I don't know exactly. Form table maybe. But that's certainly not it, is it? Because Liverpool are top, of course. So, no, sorry, they're 6th. This is this is not doing from the top position. Of course, this is not doing right from the top. So obviously they're 6th, aren't they? Newcastle, 6th, behind Villa. So they go up to 5th. They go 5th. They win this. And of course Leicester are down near the bottom. So they'll obviously get level with Ipswich if they win. I can't see Leicester winning. And they've got a game in hand, of course, Leicester. But there's no chance, surely, them winning this. Right, so this is the team news. Leicester, the Foxes have a relatively clean bill of health with Abdul Fatawu, the only player ruled out. Newcastle, Jamal Lascelles and Lewis Hall are long-term absentees, while Sven Botman is targeting a return in May. Anthony Gordon, Kieran Trippier, Alexander Isak and Joel Linton are injury doubts. Matt Targett is also unavailable due to illness. What the managers have said, Ruud van Nistelrooy from Leicester, on Leicester's form it is not going well, the results are bad, but I think as a team we stick together and this is the most important. If we do that, we have a chance to get a result. On Newcastle, they are on a great momentum with their first silverware since 70 years. They are very strong, quick and physical side, hard to come up against. Eddie Howe for Newcastle on Isak and Trippier. Hopefully they are feeling okay. We don't think we got any big injuries from Wednesday night, but we certainly got a few niggles, so let's wait and see. On Leicester, they are not out of it. They will still believe they have a chance. They have been very competitive, but results might not show it. They have good players. Jamie Vardy is still a massive threat. Ruud van Nistelrooy has got them playing good football. So we'll have to be on our guard still. I think he's just being polite there. I think they should have this easily, Newcastle. I think Eddie's just, being polite. He feels, you got to respect your position still, obviously. And that's what they've got to do. But Southampton, yeah. They're as bad as Southampton, Leicester. But I'd say, Leicester are there for the taking. They're down near the bottom for a reason. And, we've beaten them. Plenty of other teams have beaten them. Not quite as bad as Southampton, obviously. But, of course, lost their manager today. He's been sacked. Ivan Juric, obviously, I'm going into that very soon as well. Talking about him. So there is the link there, guys. If anyone is watching or is in live chat, I can't see anyone yet, but welcome to come on. Obviously, I suppose there wouldn't be anyone really watching, but you can always watch this on playback, guys, as you know. I decided to do this. I really wanted to do this. It was supposed to be earlier, and I probably should have done it earlier, but obviously other things cropped up. But anyway, getting back to this, the match officials, referee Rob Jones, assistants Ian Husin, Blake Antrobus, fourth official Tony Harrington, VAR Alex Chillerich, assistant VAR Richard West. Key facts here, should Leicester lose this game without scoring, they would become the first side in Football League history to lose 8 Premier League games in a row without a goal. Watford also lost 7 in a row between December 1971 and March 1972. Newcastle have kept a clean sheet in each of their last 3 Premier League meetings with Leicester, more than they had in their previous 16 against the Foxes too. The Magpies have won 7 away Premier League matches this season and could win 8+ on the road for a second time under Eddie Howe. Also 8 in 2022-23. Having only done so 3 times before he joined the club. 9 in 93-94 under Kevin Keegan, 9 in 2001-2 under Bobby Robson, 8 in 2011-12 under Alan Pardew. After winning 9 of their 12 Premier League meetings with Newcastle between May 2015 and December 2021, lost 3. Leicester are now winless in 4 against the Magpies, drawn 1, lost 3. So that pretty much tells you all you need to know. Leicester will have hope if they do get a shock win today, which I can't see happening. But if they do, they do move to 20. But then again, they're still a long way behind Wolves. They'll be level with Ipswich, but Wolves are the team they need to catch, Ipswich and Wolves. So I really can't see it happening. And then, even if somehow they beat Newcastle, they got Brighton who are struggling. Maybe they could get an upset there. it's possible they could win, but then they got Liverpool. Yeah, they lost to Fulham, but Liverpool are sure to bounce back. You would think that, definitely. So I can't see them winning that. Wolves, of course, Wolves win. They're pretty much safe, and they pretty much are anyway. But they could confirm it. And then Southampton, which is winnable, but I don't think Leicester will, even if they win it. They're not safe. I think they're down. Ipswich, Leicester, and Southampton are down, I'm afraid. The three teams that come up are all going down. And there's Newcastle's next 5 fixtures there, of course. Leicester, of course, this one. Then Man United on Sunday. So at home, I think United are pretty much struggling. They're pretty poor. They were shit against City yesterday. Drab 0-0. Absolutely dull, boring, snooze fest, bore fest. That was yesterday. And then Palace, who are going well. So that could be a tough one for Newcastle. Very tough. I think Palace are going really well. I don't know if Glasner's going to stay, though. Looks like he may be on his way out. It's possible. He's not happy with stuff there, with things that are happening there. And then Villa, of course, on the Saturday the 19th, away. Could be a tricky one with Villa. Very, very good team. They're going well, of course, under Emery. They're in Europe and, of course, in the FA Cup. So maybe they'll have that on their minds. So it might be a bit more straightforward. And there's Kev. Be up to you, Kev. Kev Flavin. Glad to see I've got somebody in the live chat. Cheers, bro, for coming in. You're not actually watching the match tonight, then? Well, I don't know. Well, you might still be. Evening, mate. Was over in London at the weekend. Went to see Reading and Wickham. Not a bad point for Brentford yesterday. Yep. Cheers, bro. Yeah, I'll be doing the reaction to that very soon. I thought it was pretty poor, mate, to be honest. We should really be beating teams like Chelsea, who are not really that special, I don't think, not that great. Haven't got much there. Their strikers, Jackson is shit, and a few others, I just don't think they're that great. Cole Palmer's not firing now, and I think they're pretty poor up front at the moment, not scoring enough goals. But we didn't do enough either. We probably should have done better, but obviously I will go into the game. And, of course, a 0-0. But, yeah, of course, it was a clean sheet for Flecken. I suppose that's the only thing you could say. But getting back to this, yeah, Villa and then Ipswich, of course, Newcastle have got, which they'll probably win that. Because Ipswich, although they're doing okay at the moment, have got no chance of getting out of it, relegation. But this one, I think, will be... I'm going to go for a 4-1 Newcastle. I'm going 4-1. I think Leicester will get one somehow, but Newcastle sure will get 4. They're bound to fill their boots. In fact, I'll go 5. I'll go 5-1 Newcastle. I just think they got too much for Leicester here. So that's what I'm going for. Yeah, 5-1 Newcastle, I think I'll go for. Definitely. If you want to make a prediction, Kev, in the live chat, mate, go for it. Yeah, go for it, mate. Leave your prediction there in the live chat in the comments. Right, so I'll do that reaction probably now. Actually, I'll probably do the reaction for the Bees because it was disappointing, a 0-0. But I'll go to that one. And yeah, Kev, if you want to leave your prediction for the Newcastle and Leicester and Newcastle, I should say. Starts at 8 o'clock, of course. Kicks off. Yeah, but this one, of course, 0-0. Pretty poor, really. I'll go through the match report and then go into the teams more and everything and all that. What I thought of it, obviously the player ratings. Brentford 0, Chelsea 0, points shared in West London derby at G-Tech Community Stadium. Brentford were held to a goalless draw by Chelsea in the Premier League on Sunday afternoon. The Bees had numerous chances in the West London derby, particularly during the dominant first half display. Well, yeah, we can't finish. That is the problem, though. We're a bit blunt up front. Yeah, I'm a pirate and I didn't know it. But neither side could find a winner at G-Tech Community Stadium. Thomas Frank made 2 changes to the starting 11 from the previous Wednesday night's trip to Newcastle United, with Christopher Ayer and Mikael Damsgaard returning to the side in place of Ethan Pinnock and Vitaly Janelt. Sepp Vandenberg moved back to centre-back, while Rico Henry is named amongst the substitutes for the first time since January. Yes. Brilliant. But Rico Henry back. Brilliant. He may play a part against Arsenal, which would be good. He may start there. If not, come on as sub, maybe. Chelsea had the first chance within the opening 2 minutes as Reece James' teasing free kick from the right wing was just out of the reach of 2 players in the middle of the box before Christopher Nkunku headed high and wide of the mark at the back post. Brentford had an opportunity of their own a minute later, but after Brian Bramo had volleyed Keane Lewis Potter's deep cross back across goal, Johan Visser couldn't direct the ball on target from a tight angle. Lewis Potter was involved in the next opening too as he released Kevin Shardy down the left wing. The German pulled the ball back to Visser, who saw the sting taken out of his first-time shot by a ricochet before Chelsea keeper Robert Sanchez collected it. Damsgaard, who had called a free kick just over moments earlier, had a great chance midway through the half. A loose pass from Sanchez was played forward first time by Vandenberg to Visser, who then dinked the Dane in on goal, but he couldn't sort his feet out to get a shot off from 8 yards. The Bees continued to be in the ascendancy, with Bramo going close with just over half an hour played. The Cameroon international robbed James on the right wing before cutting inside and drilling narrowly wide at the bottom corner. Bramo then turned provider as the hosts continued to push, with his corner being headed goalwards by Lewis Potter from Sanchez acrobatically turned by Lewis Potter, but Sanchez acrobatically turned his effort away. Tosin glanced a header wide at the other end in first half additional time. Nicholas Jackson, brought on at half-time by Chelsea boss Enzo Maresca, had an early sight of goal after the restart, but he scuffed his effort from the corner of the box and it rolled out for a goal kick. The visitors nearly took the lead in bizarre fashion as Vandenberg, in his attempt to clear a deflected low cross, kicked the ball straight at Mark Flecken before the Dutch defender bundled the ball out for a corner. Pedro Neto, introduced from the bench alongside Cole Palmer just short of the hour mark, then tested Flecken with a curling left-footed shot from the edge of the area, with the away side enjoying their best spell of the game. The Bees keeper came up with an even better save shortly afterwards, parrying Trevor Chalabar's goal-bound header following a Neto corner. An electric counter-attack nearly saw Bramo break the deadlock going into the final 10 minutes. He picked up the ball on the edge of the Brentford box and drove forward, exchanging passes with Visser before his well-struck effort was turned around the post by Sanchez. The resulting corner was played short to the impressive Lewis Potter, who delivered a delightful cross into Vandenberg in the 6-yard box, but the latter headed into the ground, with a bounce taking the ball over the crossbar. Visser headed just wide of the bottom corner moments later, and Palmer nearly snatched the 3 points at the death as the Chelsea talisman called onto the roof of the net with the last kick of the game. So obviously there were the teams there. Brentford, Flecken, Ayer, Coyote came on for him in the 83rd. Collins, Vandenberg, Lewis Potter, Norgard, Yarmouk, Janelt came on for him in the 66th. Damsgaard, Jensen came on for him in the 83rd. Bramo, Visser and Shardy. Subs not used for Aldermarson, Henry, Pinnock, me, Konak and Maghomer. Chelsea, Sanchez, Gusto, Chalabar, Tosin, James, Cucurella came on for him in the 77th. Caicedo, Fernandez, Madueke, Neto came on for him in the 59th. Dewsbury Hall, Palmer came on for him in the 59th also. Sancho and Kunku, Jackson came on for him in the 46th. Subs not used, Jorgensen, Badiashile, Colwill, George and Achimpong. Frank pleased with another good performance. Thomas Frank praised his side following Sunday's home draw against Chelsea. It was another good performance, said Frank. Unfortunately, we couldn't capitalise on it and get the 3 points. We got a draw and a clean sheet, which is good. And I think we were closer to winning the game than Chelsea. The first half was very good. We were on top of them. The second half was more even. I thought we defended fantastically, the whole team, and going the other way, we had some great chances. I think in general this season, we've been very consistent. Yeah. I guess it was a decent performance, but I'm still disappointed with only a 0-0. I thought we should have beat Chelsea. I really do. I think they were there for the taking. I think we should be better than this, especially at home. We seem to be struggling to win at home. I don't know why. Don't know what's going on there. Right, Kev, Newcastle 3-0, sad to say, as I am a huge Sunderland fan. Oh, yeah, of course you are, mate, aren't you? Yeah, but as I say, I'm still going 5-1. Newcastle, I think they're going to totally demolish Leicester tonight. I really do. Leicester are pretty poor. They're not as poor as Southampton, but they are poor. And I think they're going to get walloped. You got Stepsy. Oh, big up to you, Stepsy. How you doing, bro? Thanks for coming in, man. Evening, how do you miss from 2 yards heading into the ground and cleared the bar? That's ability. Yeah, okay. I know, mate. It's that's the thing, mate. It happens, I'm afraid. We just can't finish, and I suppose it is a clean sheet. It's another point. We addressed, sort of stopped the rot at home because we kept losing. Of course, we were losing games at home. So at least we stopped that. I suppose that's something. Now we've got to go back away and play Arsenal, of course, next Saturday at the Emirates. I'm thinking, I really think we could beat Arsenal. I think if we can find our finishing boots, do better than we did yesterday, I think we got a chance because Arsenal, I think, are there for the taking. You got Gabriel out now, and that is a big miss for them. Absolutely big miss, a blow for them. Gabriel out for the rest of the season. And, of course, they got the likes of Ben Shyatt, who I don't rate. There, Kirill, he ain't the greatest either. I rate Miles Lewis-Skelly, but I still think he's only young. And I think he could be got at somehow. But, yeah, if we can do better than we did yesterday and can finish, I think there's a shot there. I think we could do it. But obviously, we've got the preview later this week. Of course, of Arsenal and the Bees will be later this week, so please check that out. Be having one or two Arsenal fans on, I'm sure, to talk about it. So check that one out, guys. So I'll give the player ratings now. And actually, Flecken, I'm not going to moan about for a change. I'm not really going to go into him and really lay into him here. Because he did make some good saves and he kept a clean sheet. So what more could you want in a way? I still don't rate him. I still don't want him at my club. But for this game, he came up trumps, really. He done well. I'm giving him a 7. Be up to you, Lockman. Oh, yeah, of course, Eugene. Be up to you, bro. Haven't seen you in here for a while. Brilliant. Cheers, bro. Thanks for coming in. Hi, everyone. Big up. Hashtag Levy out. Yeah. Let's hope he does go, mate, eh? For your sake. I feel sorry for you lot in a way. I know you beat us twice this season, so I can't feel that sorry. But, I don't know how you did beat us, especially at home. But there we go. It happened. It is what it is. But anyway, get back to this. Yeah, Flecken, I'm giving a 7, surprisingly. Aya, I thought he was okay. I thought he'd done pretty well. And, of course, it is a clean sheet for the defence as well. I'll give him a 7. Lewis Potter, I thought, was really good again. He's playing that left wing-back role. Really, I think, you take away, you nullify his threat there of going forward, unfortunately. But I think he's played really well in the left wing-back role. I'll give him a 7 as well. We go to Collins, who I thought was brilliant again. He's had a great season, been immense for us. Nathan Collins. So I'm going to give him an 8, actually. I thought he was great there in defence again. Definitely an 8. At least you have more points than us at the moment. Yeah, that's true, Eugene. You're right there, bro. But we are above you. We're above United, of course, still, which is even better. But I'd love us to get into that top 10. Maybe get 9th, 10th would be amazing. I don't think we could get Europe. I really don't. Even if we do, I don't think we want it because we ain't got the squad for it. We ain't got all the players for it. So, unfortunately. So I hope that doesn't happen, really. Vandenberg, I thought was decent as well. Did get butts. I'll give him a 7. We go into the midfield. Yarmulke had a decent game. Don't think he done amazing. I'll give him a 6 though. Right, we go to Norgard, who was superb yet again. I thought he was brilliant. Commanding again. I'll give him an 8. Giving him an 8 there. Norgard. Let's go to Damsgaard. I thought Damsgaard was brilliant, actually. I'm giving him an 8. I'm not quite decided who my man of the match is, actually. But I will do soon. Yeah, Norgard an 8. I'm going to give Bramo. He was fairly threatening. I think I'll giving him an 8 as well. Bramo. Visser, not quite at it, but he was still getting around, still being a threat in a way. I'll give him a 7. And Shardy, I thought was really good in this game. I thought he was very good. I'll give him an 8 as well. I think man of the match I will give to Damsgaard. I thought he had that extra threat there in the midfield with the passing. It was very good. So, yeah, I'll give him an 8, of course. I'll give him man of the match, Damsgaard. The subs, Konak wasn't used. Coyote came on for Aya. Couldn't do a lot. I'll give him a 5. Jensen came on for Damsgaard in the 83rd, so didn't do a lot either, 5. Maghomer wasn't used. Henry didn't come on. Pinnock also wasn't used. Jan out for Yarmulke. Don't think he done much either. I'm going to give him a 5. Valdemarson and me. Of course, to see the Chelsea team there. That was Sanchez, Gusto, James Cucurella came on for him in the 77th. Caicedo, Chalabar, Tosin, he also got butts, yellow there. Madueke came on for Neto in the 59th. Fernandez got a yellow. And Kunku, Jackson came on for him in the 45th. Dewsbury Hall, Palmer came on for him in the 59th. And Sancho. The subs there, Jorgensen, Colwill, Cucurella, Jackson, George, Achimpong, Badiashile, Palmer, Neto, and Neto there. So that was that. And now we'll move on to the next topic, which will be Ivan Juric, of course, was sacked, or left Southampton. So we'll talk about that now. Ivan Juric leaves Southampton after Premier League relegation confirmed. Ivan Juric has left Southampton after their Premier League relegation was confirmed. The Croatian lasted just 108 days in charge, losing 12 out of his 14 top-flight games. David Wagner, not Wagner, that's composer. Anyway, among names on the club's shortlist to replace him. Ivan Juric has left Southampton after the club's Premier League's relegation was confirmed. The Saints became the earliest team ever to be relegated from England's top flight with their 3-1 defeat to Tottenham Hotspur. There you go, Eugene. At least you did beat someone. But it's only Southampton and everyone beats them, mate. But you did beat them, I suppose. That's something, 3-1. And your old mate, Brenda Johnson, scored, didn't he? Brenda. Yeah. He got 2. Seeing their demotion confirmed with 7 games to go. Simon Rusk will take the team until the end of the season. Rusk took charge briefly when Russell Martin, Juric's predecessor, left St Mary's. Adam Lallana will also be involved in the new setup. Recently appointed Saints technical director Johannes Spors is leading the search for Juric's successor. However, the club are not close to making an appointment at present, and Juric leaving now gives them the maximum amount of time to find the right candidate ahead of next season. Spors wants to appoint a coach who has experience managing in England and plays a high-intensity style of football. The priority is to win promotion again, so championship experience is desired. Former Huddersfield and Norwich boss David Wagner is among the names on a lengthy shortlist. The Southampton players were told about Juric's departure on Monday morning, with his backroom staff also leaving the club. Juric's time at the South Coast club lasted just 108 days. He was appointed in the week before Christmas and was handed an 18-month contract with a break clause which would be reviewed at the end of the season. So there it is, earliest relegation Premier on the Premier League. Southampton 24-25, games remaining 7. Then Ipswich 94-95, 6. Derby 2007-8, 6. Huddersfield 2018-19, 6. And Sheffield United 2021, 6. The Croatian boss, who was dismissed by Roma after a dismal 6-week spell last November, won just 1 out of his 14 Premier League games in charge, a 2-1 win over Ipswich at the start of February. He lost 12 out of those 14 matches, with the Saints averaging 2.7 Premier League goals conceded under him. So the Premier League table since Ivan Juric took charge, well, ain't made much of a difference, did it? In the end, they finished, in fact, they're bottom. So actually finished worse. Ivan came to Southampton at a tough time and was tasked with trying to improve a squad in a difficult situation, said a statement from the club. Unfortunately, we haven't seen performances progress the way we had hoped, but we would like to thank Ivan and his staff for their honesty and hard work as they fought against the odds to try and keep us up. With relegation to the Championship now confirmed, we believe it is important to give fans, players and staff some clarity on the future as we head into a very important summer. The process of finding a new manager to lead us as we look to secure an immediate return to the Premier League has now begun, and is being led by Group Technical Director Johannes Spors. In the meantime, Simon Rusk has agreed to take charge of the team as interim manager for the remaining 7 fixtures of this season and will be assisted by Adam Lallana. We remain incredibly grateful for the ongoing support of our fans. Their continued dedication and passion, despite what has been a very tough season, is remarkable and is appreciated by everyone at the club. Despite the changes that that relegation will bring. Our goal is to restore a sense of pride for them in their team and the club once again. After just 108 days in charge and 2 wins, the inevitable has happened. After 108 days and 16 matches in charge in all competitions and just 2 wins, and one of those was in the FA Cup, and 13 defeats, we have learned the inevitable that Ivan Juric and his staff have left Southampton with immediate effect. We understand Simon Rusk will come in until the end of the season, just as he did briefly when Russell Martin left his role. With Adam Lallana also involved in some way in this temporary setup to take Southampton through to the end of the season, as they look to avoid Derby's unwanted lowest Premier League points total record, and 1 win will take them past that. And then Southampton will turn to what happens next season in the Championship. They knew all along that Juric had signed this 18-month contract with a break clause to review his position in the summer. But in the end, they did not need to do that. Southampton's problems run deeper than Juric, said Sky Sports' Laura Hunter. Much has been made of Derby County's record low points haul in recent weeks, and here Southampton are teetering on the edge of eclipsing it. Such a possibility feels a sad indictment of the obvious gap between the Championship and Premier League, which is only growing, not shrinking. But still, to be relegated with 7 games to play is woeful, and a terrible reflection on Ivan Juric's time in the hot seat. He now holds the record for the lowest points per game average of any manager to take charge of at least 10 games. This was a bad knee-jerk appointment. Surely the Croats' dreadful stint as Roma was enough of a red flag. So there it is, fewest points, Southampton 24-25, 10 so far. Derby 2007, 8, 11. Sunderland 2005, 6, 15. Sheffield United 23, 24, 16. And of course Huddersfield 2018, 19, also 16. But zooming out to analyse the wider picture, Juric simply represents one of a number of poor decisions taken by the club's ownership group, Sport Republic, since their takeover in 2022. Lots of square pegs in round holes with very little coherent thinking. There's long been a sense of resignation from the fan base over the club's direction. Even if Saints do manage to surpass Derby's points total, there's plenty to condemn this side as one of the worst the top flight has ever seen. Bad recruitment has played its part too. Time for another reset. Hopefully this latest action plan is geared towards breaking a clear cycle of incompetency for good. Juric's last words as Saints boss. Juric after the 3-1 defeat to Spurs. What I noticed we missed the most in these 3 or 4 months that I'm here is completely different physicality between us and the other teams in the Premier League. I think the same thing has happened to Leicester and Ipswich. The difference between physicality in the Championship and the Premier League, the gap is huge. But you have to find from this moment, the players that can grow up, that can improve, not just thinking about winning the Championship, but create the players that will be ready in the Premier League. I said to the players they have to be really thankful that they had fans like this. It was something incredible how they loved their team. I think they really deserve much more. Every person that works at Southampton has to do it better and create something much more stronger than we did this year. It is a different culture, and even for my mentality, it is something incredible. And to show loving in these moments is the great English and Southampton culture incredible. Now is really important moment to understand all the mistakes the club has made the past 3 or 4 years, and for the club to start to create something really good. The unwanted record Saints can break. Southampton's miserable return to the Premier League has come to its inevitable conclusion. The writing was on the wall for Southampton and has been for some time. They are the first team in Premier League history to be relegated with as many as 7 games of the season remaining. Southampton's relegation back to the Championship was confirmed following their 3-1 defeat at Tottenham, their 25th league defeat. The Saints are the third team to lose as many as 25 of their first 31 games of a top-flight campaign, after Sunderland in 2005-06 and Sheffield United in 2020-21, both also 25. It has been quite the contrast to last season, when a 22-match unbeaten run in the Championship helped aid their successful bid for promotion to the Premier League via a playoff final win over Leeds at Wembley. The harsh reality is that many are now talking about Southampton as one of the worst teams in Premier League history. Yeah, I would say that. I would say they are poor. They are terrible. They are definitely one of the worst teams. And we got Harry there. Be up to you, Harry. Be up, guys. Hope we're all good. Yeah, all cool, mate. Brilliant. Thanks for coming on, bro. In the live chat, of course. I did put the link in, guys. If anyone does want to come on, you're welcome to. Obviously, I'm going to go to the Premier game soon. It'd probably good to get somebody on for that, to talk about the Premier games, the reaction from the other day. Be going through all those. And Luke, I'll be up to you, bro. Hi, yeah. Are you okay? Yeah, cool, mate. Cool. Good to see you in here, bro. Newcastle 2-0. Is that the score now? Or are you doing that as a prediction? Because it started, hasn't it? Actually, let's have a quick look there and see what that is, that score. Oh, it is 2-0. Yeah. Murphy with both of them. Well, there you go. Yeah. Well, that's brilliant. I'll obviously watch that when I finish this stream. I'll obviously be able to see the second half anyway, at least, probably. I'll try and watch the rest of the first half. I won't do this for too much longer today, guys, but getting back to Southampton, yeah, they were poor. One of the worst teams that have come up. And, yeah, it's all right doing it in the Championship. It's all very well. You know, getting this big record, all these games unbeaten, 22 games or wherever it was. You know, that was brilliant. But, you know, in the Premier, well, it's a different matter. So I'm just going to just want to see that, what it said about that in the Championship. Because I always thought the Championship was a tough league to come up from. But looking at that, it looked pretty easy for a team that don't seem that great. They have got some decent players, very good players, but especially DeBruyne. I'd love Brentford to get him. I really would love it to get him. I think he's class. Total baller, only young. He'd be ideal for the Bees. He really would. I think it was it Suleimana? Was the other one, the great winger. I thought he's quick, got a lot of skill. I thought he's an incredible player. Love to get him as well. Yeah, 22 match unbeaten run, which I'm surprised at, but there we go. I mean, the Championship is tough generally. But, you know, I think this team, I don't know. I don't know how they done it. They were poor. They really didn't do enough in the Premier. And, you know, Russell Martin, I think he played the same way. He tried to play attacking football, but it wasn't good enough. And I don't think Juric improved when he come in either. So, you know, it's probably right that they're going back down. But can they avoid those records of the lowest points? Well, we'll see. It's possible. I'm sure they could. But let's move on. And a really big legend of a player is leaving Man City. But is he leaving the actual Premier? I think he might be. I'm afraid I think he might be. But this guy was class, total legend in the Premier, was superb for City. Of course, had a spell at Chelsea, as we all know, didn't quite work out there. But he was amazing for City. I think he's not looked the same player, but I know he's still got class there. He's still got quality. Kevin DeBruyne was amazing. And he'd be sadly missed there. He lit up the Premier. And I just wish we could get him, but I don't. He obviously won't come to the Bees, will he? I mean, he's what? I think he's 32, 33, maybe 34. I know he's obviously getting on a bit, but obviously I read this article here about him. Kevin De Bruyne's perfectly timed departure marks tipping point in Guardiola era, says Jonathan Liu. Yeah, the City midfielder made his teammates look like geniuses, and once more he is making just the right move at just the right time. Not for the first time, Kevin De Bruyne read the situation to perfection. Not for the first time, he spotted the right play just a little earlier than everyone else. And of course, this was always his gift. Not simply to pick the right option, but to do it faster than anyone else. Buying him those crucial fractions of a second when everything else was in flux and only he in stillness. And of course, this was not the only respect in which De Bruyne understood the game of football better than most. As a struggling teenager in the Genk Academy, he noticed the way the club abruptly stopped paying for a foster family to house him. And then quietly resumed when he started banging in goals for the second team. Cast adrift at Chelsea, he noticed how he was ignored while first-team players were lavished with attention and bespoke coaching. In short, De Bruyne always intuited the brutal transactional nature of football. The way people hold doors open for you when things are going well. Let them close when things are not. The way your only intrinsic worth is the worth you can provide to someone else. So far this season, he has provided Man City with just 2 league goals and 49% of the minutes for which he was available. His contract is up this summer. The pieces are moving. The pass is on. All that remains is for you to play it. And should he want to accept the offer of the Saudi Pro League, or indeed a top league in Europe, then it is a pass, and that probably needs to be played sooner rather than later. Aged 33, increasingly vulnerable to injury, and with more than 50,000 minutes in his legs for club and country, his peak years are beginning to winnow away. Already two games a week at high intensity feels like a stretch. But in the good moments, when the ball rolls towards his feet and the pitch somehow seems to expand around him, he can still stir the imagination like few others alive. Some will advocate De Bruyne as the Premier League's greatest midfielder of all time. Some will insist he wasn't even Manchester City's. Personally, I suspect he may ultimately slot into the Roy Keane bracket. Obviously not in terms of skill set, but as a player who performed one particular midfield skill so outstandingly that their true all-round value will probably be forgotten a little by history. And in the same way that Keane's aggression obscured his brilliant vision and distribution, there's perhaps a danger that De Bruyne will be remembered exclusively as a luxury pinger, a threader, and a crosser, a Ginger Beckham. Yeah. Which would, of course, be unfair, because beyond his exquisite technique, and let's face it, lots of players can pass the ball nicely these days, what defines De Bruyne is that throttling intensity. Not just the killer pass, but the killer pass at the end of a lung-busting sprint. Not just the pinpoint cross, but the six pinpoint passes and runs that set it up. He could score as well as create, press as well as pass. And in this respect, he could scarcely have wished for a better enabler than Pep Guardiola, one of the very few men with an obsession for perfection that matched his own. These two brilliant footballing nerds just brilliantly nerding the shit out of football. And for all these individual gifts, the temptation to drown in highlight reels and past porn, it's also worth pointing out the halo effect a player like DeBruyne has on the players around him. The confidence to make the run, to show for the ball in tight spots, the knowledge that there is a guy 30 yards away who has made it his life's work to make you look like a genius. Erling Haaland. I'm not even looking at him because I know where the pass will come. Sergio Aguero. All I have to do is hit the ball. Phil Foden, you just have to run into space and he's going to find you. Perhaps a consequence of the way De Bruyne uplifted his teammates is that his own achievements feel somehow normal-sized in comparison. There's no defining De Bruyne moment, no Aguero 2012 or Yaya Toure 2014, beyond perhaps that pass against Stoke or his goal against Real Madrid in the 2023 Champions League semi-final, or his fall against Wolves. Arguably his greatest season came in 2019-20 when City collapsed in the league and the Ballon d'Or, in which he would certainly have run Robert Lewandowski very close, was cancelled due to COVID. And of course, De Bruyne never really cultivated the cult of personality, chased viral fame or cultural clout. He was and remains an introvert, a family man whose friendships are few but close, whose public pronouncements are scarce but meaningful. Football is the only form of expression he ever needed, to the extent where he would refer to the two Kevins, the quiet bloke off the pitch and the little bastard who stepped over the line and entered it. Of course, his departure marks a tipping point in the breakup of Guardiola's last great team. And of course, questions of wealth and fairness must intrude at this point. Questions of meaning and competitive balance, questions with no simple answers. But just as money sufficiently amassed can buy beauty, surely beauty sufficiently amassed can transcend money. Just as people and memories can be co-opted by power and artifice, so people and memories can breathe life and realness into the artifice. Give power a beating human heart. To hold these truths simultaneously, perhaps even to believe in them all equally, is not simply an act of maturity, but an act of conscience. The same brilliance that makes football irresistible to despots makes it irresistible to us. The same qualities that render it such a potent tool of control also render it the ultimate escape. Perhaps De Bruyne's greatest gift on reflection was not the ability to make us remember, but to make us forget. Yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, it says a lot there. Brilliant about this guy. He was amazing. Incredible. Another one of the legends of the game. Will be sadly missed. And hopefully they give him a great send-off, Man City. I'm sure they will. But I will probably do another one about him more in depth later on this week. But obviously I'll be doing the Buzz Still Buzzing on Thursday. And hopefully do it at a time where it's going to be earlier, probably around 12. So it'll be before any football's on, if there's any on, which I think there will be. So, but anyway, guys, I'm going to move on to the Premier League and talk about all the games there on the weekend. But hold on a minute, I've just got to do something quickly, guys. I'll be back very soon and we get into these and the reaction. Hold on 1 minute. Right. Sorry about that, guys. I'm back. And obviously we go into these games. And, of course, we start with Saturdays and obviously Everton and Arsenal. Arsenal were poor yet again. Very poor. But then I don't think Everton were that great either. Arsenal somehow still second. And if they play like that, I think we'll get demolished by Real. I mean, a better team than Everton would demolish them, would destroy them, I think, slap them up. And I think we could next Saturday. I still think it's possible. Well, this Saturday, I should say. And I'll be doing a preview, of course, as I've already mentioned, preview for the game. But I thought, you know, I mean, I don't know why that was a penalty. That was never a penalty either, though. I thought Everton were lucky to get a point here. I don't think Arsenal were great, but I don't think Everton were that special. And a lucky penalty, really. It was never a penalty. It was outside the box, if anything, and they were holding each other. I don't think Lewis Skelly done a lot. And somehow they got a penalty. But there you go. Obviously, Trossard put Arsenal into the lead in the 34th minute, and they were 1-0 up at half-time, Arsenal. They didn't make enough of what chances they had. I think they were poor in front of goal, wayward. And Joy, of course, got that penalty in the 49th. It shouldn't have been a penalty. So, you know, Arsenal's title hopes virtually over, yes. Well, I think they've been over for a little while. I really do think they've been over for a while. And they're not catching Liverpool. But I don't think anyone is, even though Liverpool are slipping up. They lost to Fulham, of course. So, but I think Arsenal really are disappointing. They're going to obviously come away with nothing again. No trophies this season. There's no way they're beating Real. And this guy is lucky to still be there. But he will still be there, unfortunately. This bloody arrogant fraud prick here. I'm afraid will stay there, despite what he does. And Moyes there has done very well coming back to Everton. Really got them doing something, although I don't think they're a great team. I still think they're poor. And I think they should be down there, struggling. But it looks like they're going to be safe again. I think Moyes is going to keep them away from relegation, by the looks of it. So, and Jai got man of the match. I thought he done okay there. I thought he did play well. I mean, obviously they actually give it to Kirill for Arsenal, man of the match. But no, I think Jai was very good, but I don't think it was a great game. Another poor game, which they have been over the week. Some of them have been poor over the weekend. Football hasn't been great, but we go on to this one. Palace 2, Brighton 1. And Palace had 2 players sent off, Eddie and Ketia. Old Eddie was sent off. Beverly Hills flop, was sent off. Oh dear. Well, they're not going to miss him, are they? Let's be honest. Of course, Mateta came back to score his first goal since he's come back from that horrific injury. 3rd minute. Munoz with the second in the 55th. Of course, before that, Welbeck got an equaliser in the 31st, Danny Welbeck. They also had a player sent off, Van Heck, in the 96, and he deserves to be sent off most of the time because he's a shithouse and a fouler and a con artist. I don't rate the guy. I hate the guy. I don't know how he isn't sent off most of the time. But anyway, Palace set for exciting running. And will this man still be there? Oliver Glasner, is he going to stay? Reports of unrest there. Would be a shame if he goes. He's got Palace doing things this season. So they're in the FA Cup, of course, the semi. So if they get to the final and win that, I mean, that would be an amazing achievement. But I don't know. We will wait and see on that. This guy, Hertzler, was doing so well with Brighton. But they seem to slip behind, slipped away. Brighton on a slippery slope going down. Player of the match was the goalkeeper, Henderson, for Palace. But yeah, they're on a slippery slope. I think Palace I think they're above us now. By 1 point. I don't know, actually, hold on. Are they above us? Yeah, of course. Yeah, 2 points, in fact, in 11th. So, yeah, they're going well. They will probably, if anyone would get into that top 8 or 9, would be them. I would just like us to finish maybe 11th or 10th would be fine, even 9th. But we're certainly not getting Europe. No way. But yeah, Brighton are slipping up. They're getting behind. They had a good season, but not looking good for them at the moment. And Wolves got another important win against Ipswich. Takes them further away there at the bottom against Ipswich there. Of course, they're 17th, but they got at least, is it 12, 13, 14 points ahead? Something like that. So yeah, it's a big enough gap. Sorry, it's what's it? Yeah, it's 12. Sorry, it is 12 points. Yeah, clear there for Wolves. That's looking enough of a gap, and obviously Ipswich lost there, and they're still fighting them and Leicester, but no chance. Surely, no chance. They're gone. It's only a matter of time before they're confirmed as relegated, both of those teams, joining Southampton. But yeah, and Ipswich actually did take the lead here, of course, with Liam Delap, another player we'd love the Bees, next season. We'd love him to come. Be a great striker. If we can get him, that'd be amazing. Wolves, though, Pablo Sarabia equalised in the 72 and Strand Larsen in the 84th. I think they got a good. They're going to go well. They're going to stay up, no doubt. But could they struggle again next season? That'd be the thing. Will they struggle again? It's possible, unless they get some more players in. If they don't, it'll be the same again for them, I think. West Ham and Bournemouth 2-2. What a game there. Yeah, Bournemouth were in the lead for Evan Nielsen. They as well were struggling, were on a bit of a slippery slope, Bournemouth, going a bit downwards. But they come back at least with a point here. Evan Nielsen, both goals, in fact, his first in the 38. Full crew, of course, got the equaliser. Bowen made it 2-1, West Ham, and then Evan Nielsen got the equaliser in the 79th. So a pretty good game, this one, actually. Really good. And I rate Bournemouth. I really rate them as a good team. I think West Ham are doing fairly well now under Potter. They should be safe. I think Bournemouth could still go in for Europe, maybe. At least that. Could they get... Well, obviously, they're out of the FA Cup. But Europe is still there for them. Could they do that? Fresh blow for Iriola's European ambitions. But, yeah, it is a point. The point's better than nothing. And Bournemouth are still there or thereabout. Full crew proves worth in dream cameo. Yep. And he's been out a while there. He's had a long spell out injured. They needed someone to come back and get goals, West Ham. And he could be the one, the German international. So, it cost, of course, 27 million from Borussia. So, it's a lot of money. And let's hope he starts paying it off for them. Dean Huyson got player of the match. Very good young player for Bournemouth. Quality. Excellent player. He deserved that. And we move on to Villa and Nottingham Forest. Well, Villa going really well, but Forest were. This was a bit of an upset. Forest losing. They haven't lost for a while, of course. But yeah, it was a big shock. But Villa are doing well, and you can't rule them out for something this season, FA Cup or Europe, and possibly qualification again for Europe, maybe Champions League again this season. Rodgers and Marlon put them 2-0 up. Rodgers 13th and Marlon 15th. Jota Silva got the only goal consolation for Forest in the 57th. Villa's season goes momentum. There's the man, Emery there. Brilliant. Quality. What a manager. Forest pay for slow start. Yep. And Morgan Rodgers, man of the match. He was quality again. He was brilliant. Absolute quality. Brilliant player. And Villa, yeah. Looking good. Forest are still third, I mean. Still, capable of getting Champions League. I think maybe they may finish fourth, but I don't know. They could stay third, but Chelsea, City have both got games in hand over them, so it's possible they'll be caught. But I think they'll still get Champions League, fourth or fifth, maybe. Definitely. I think they've had a great season, and hopefully they will end up with something. And we go to Sunday. And of course, the boring 0-0, Brentford and Chelsea. Well, not boring, but it was decent. But it wasn't great. And we got a point out of it. I've already done a reaction for that. And we face Arsenal next. So, away. Let's hope we can get the 3 points. I'd love that there. I really would. To beat Arsenal at the Emirates. That'd be amazing. But Fulham and Liverpool, well, this was the shock of the weekend. Fulham beating Liverpool. Fulham a good team, though. Very good team. They were going on a bad run, going badly. But they needed this. This was incredible, a fantastic win. And they were 3-1 up. From 1-0 down, in fact. But yeah, brilliant. McAllister with a cracker, absolute cracker. What a goal, long range. But Liverpool 1-0 up in the 40th minute. Sessegnon got an equaliser for Fulham in 23rd. Don't get many goals, of course. Iwobi, 32nd, made it 2-1. And Muniz, 37th, made it 3-1 in the first half there. Half-time 3-1. Then in the second half, of course, Diaz got another goal back in the 72nd to make it 3-2. But well-deserved win for Fulham, I think. I'm glad they held on. Liverpool reminded job is not done yet. Of course it's not. They cannot be complacent here. They really can't. Fulham stay in hunt for European places, yeah. They have got a chance, Fulham, a chance of Europe. Let's hope they do it. I mean, it'd be good for them. But, so many teams there. Then Bournemouth, Brighton, Palace coming up into it, Villa. There's so many teams around there. Newcastle, it's really hard to know who's going to get it. Player of the match, Rodrigo Muniz. He was great for Fulham, I must admit. Had a great game. And, yeah, Liverpool's 26 match unbeaten run in the Premier League came to an end as Fulham beat them at Craven Cottage. Yep. Brilliant. What a win. Great from Fulham. Superb. And this one, bit of a stroll here for Spurs against Southampton 3-1. Pretty easy. Brennan Johnson, 2 goals there. Put them in control, 13th and 42nd minute. Then in the second half, Tal made it 3-1, I think. No, sorry, it was 2-1. Fernandes made it 2-1. And Tal made it 3-1 in the 96th with a penalty. So, sorry, Saints offer too little too late. And of course, Juric is gone now. He's been sacked or left, whatever. Walked away, whatever happened. Johnson shines, but Spurs sloppy. Yeah, they were. But 2 good goals from Johnson. And he got man of the match, Brennan Johnson, and deserved it. So, but an easy win for Spurs, and Southampton are confirmed as relegated, of course. Spurs ain't got a lot to play for apart from Europe. That is about all. I can't see them doing much else, and I'd love to see them finish below us, even though they beat us twice. So, well, that makes it even more great if they do finish below us. Anyway, Man United, the Manchester derby. Man United and Man City. Poor, boring, drab, snorefest, snoozefest, borefest. Whatever you like to call it, it was shit. Yeah, Man United scoring woes continue. They haven't got a player who can score a goal. They are shit. No strikers. They're rubbish, shit strikers. And DeBruyne can't roll back years. He wasn't that great in this one. A fantastic player, but he didn't play here. He weren't great. Player of the match, Bruno Fernandes. Yeah, of course, Bruno yet again was probably one of the best players on show. And they're probably the best one for United. But this is a game we just as well forget. One of the worst Manchester derbies I've seen for a while. Was poor. There's just no more to say about it, I'm afraid. That's it. I can't say any more. It was shit. Pathetic. Terrible game. Yep. So that was it. And we go to obviously the scores. 3-0 Newcastle today against Leicester. I said 5-1 it could be. It's possible it will be that. Might even be 5-0, 6-0 even more. Who knows? And I'm going to get off and watch the second half, guys, of this. Barnes has made it 3-0, of course, there. So I'll get on to that. Going to go now, guys. I'm going to bounce. And good to at least get a few people in the live chat. Thanks, guys. With the football going on, obviously follow me on Insta, Mr. B for Life 182, and like and subscribe. Smash the likes on Mr. B Hiver Football Chat. Mr. B chats England cricket. There is a cricket stream tomorrow. I've been threatening it for a while, but it is tomorrow. Talking about Charlotte Edwards. So please check that out. She's of course been appointed new head coach of the women's England team. I've been meaning to do this for a while, this stream, and it's going to be tomorrow. So check that out very early tomorrow. I'll let people know, of course, the time. Be a lot earlier than today, that's for sure. But thanks for the guys that have been watching, in live chat. Kev, brilliant. Cheers, bro. And Stephen Stepsy, of course. Be up to you, bro, fella. And Eugene, nice one, bro. Nice one, buddy, for coming in. Harry as well, honey gun there. Brilliant. Thank you, Luca. Always, mate. Brilliant, mate. Welcome. And you're welcome, obviously, this Thursday if you come on to, obviously, he will be coming on, hopefully, for the buzz, still buzzing. Of course, we're doing the preview that for the Arsenal game then, so he should be on anyway, doing that. And I may have one or two others, Arsenal fans, coming on for that preview as well. And obviously talking about predictions for the Premier League and stuff. Obviously, we've got Champions League as well. I believe that is tomorrow. I think it's one of the first games. I'll just check that out again, guys. I think it is. I believe it is, isn't it? Let's just look. Just want to see. I believe it's tomorrow. Yeah, of course, Arsenal, Real Madrid, Champions League tomorrow, 8 o'clock. I'm going to go for a prediction for that one, but also Bayern are playing Inter. But I'm going to go prediction for that. I'm going to go. I'm going to go 3-1 Real Madrid. 3-1 Real. And Bayern, I'm going to go 2-0 Bayern. There. So they're my predictions. And of course, Wednesday we got PSG Aston Villa. I'm going to go. I'm going to go 3-1 PSG. For that, these are of course I think they're not the first legs. They're overall. I think they're not first legs. 2 legs. I don't think. Barcelona. I'm going to go against Borussia Dortmund. I'm going 2-1 Barcelona. I'll go there. Thursday, of course, Europa League. Lyon against Man United. I'll go 3-1 Lyon. 3-1 Lyon. I think United are shit. I can't see them doing anything there. 3-1. Rangers versus Atletico. So nothing for Rangers, surely, even though they're at home. I'm going to go for 3-1 Atletico. Spurs against Eintracht Frankfurt. I think Spurs may do something possibly. I don't know if these are 2 leagues. I'm not sure. I think they're one-offs, I think. I think they might be, but I'm not totally sure. But I'm going to go 2-1 Frankfurt. No, 2-1 Spurs. I think Spurs might do it. So 2-1 Spurs. Legia Warsaw versus Chelsea in the UEFA Conference. I'm going to go 3-1 Chelsea. I think they'll get through Chelsea. And that's about it, guys. So, yeah. Oh, and Luca's gone there. What's he gone for? Arsenal 0 Madrid 2. Yeah. What did I say? 3-1 Real. I'm sticking with that. 3-1 Real. Yeah. Great show. Cheers, bro. Thanks for that, man. Thanks for coming in. I'll go and watch that match now. Should be good. They're 3-0 up, Newcastle. So hopefully more goals in the second half. Anyway, guys, thanks to everyone that's been watching. Watch out for all the content coming up. Cricket stream tomorrow. And the buzz still buzzing on Thursday, the football one. And with a preview, of course, which hopefully Luca will be on Thursday as well. And 1 or 2 others. And plenty more to come. So check it all out, guys. But for the time being, I'm out of here. I'm bouncing. Cheers, guys. Thanks, everyone. Cheers. Bye.